Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So in the wake of Sunderland dropping another 3 points, I thought I'd make a different kind of video, not necessarily a review of the previous game where we did lose by a goal to nil against Blackpool, because I did only watch bits and pieces of that game anyway, so I don't think I've really been in a good position to sit here and do a full review on it. But I just thought I'd have a look at this collapse of Sunderland over the last 6 or 7 games, which has been absolutely staggering, and also answering the question, have we bottled it? Now, you might think that's a pretty simple question with a pretty simple answer. Yes. But it's not quite as simple as that, because I'm getting arguments from other people when I say, that Sunderland have bottled it. And I do actually understand other people's arguments. I don't mind a debate with someone, about the club. I really don't mind that at all. So firstly, I think you'd have to look at what the definition of bottling it means. Now, it depends how people use the word and the term bottling it as well. Because I think in recent years, it's definitely become a very, very overused term. Now, I'm not actually a big fan of the cliche bottling it or bottled it, even though I have said it before in the past. People nowadays, if your team lose a couple of games, some people say they've bottled it, even though there's nothing to lose, there's no risk. Whereas, what's happened with Sunderland, is it bottling it? I believe it is somewhat, but some people also only use the term bottling it if it's the absolute ultimate extreme. Like, for example, in '96, where Newcastle, they were 10 points ahead, at the top, and they absolutely fell out their arses, and they completely screwed that up. Now, that is an extreme use of bottling it, or that might just be how the term bottling it is supposed to be. Now that definitely 100% is bottling it. And you also just want to remind Newcastle fans that happened. Not that I can really say anything because we're currently in League One. I'm bottling it. Now, with just 10 games to go, Sunderland were in third place, just 2 points behind second place Peterborough. They were also only 5 points behind Hull City, who were top of the league. But Sunderland had a game in hand over both Peterborough and Hull City. So at this point, Sunderland were actually favourites to be champions, and at least should I say, odds on to go up via the automatic. So we're in a fantastic position in the first place to get there. Now, this is where the argument comes to play, because this is where Sunderland have ultimately collapsed over the last 6 or 7 games, because since then, Sunderland have not managed to register a win in over 7 games and only picked up 3 points in that time. We are currently bottom of the form table, behind everyone else in the league, picking up just 2 points from the last 6. So is this a case of bottling it? Now, this is the only case, or the main case I've heard from people who have argued against the fact of us bottling it. Now, we did go on that 12-game unbeaten run up until we did have 10 games left. 12 games unbeaten. Now, the argument is that we scraped a lot of those games and we didn't play particularly well. True, I absolutely agree with that. But we did manage to scrape those games. You might say, yeah, but we've been figured out now. But we also had, during that 12-game unbeaten run, we had that tenacity and that desire. And yes, we do have injuries to deal with, but we did throughout the whole 12-game unbeaten run. So I don't think that is as big as a factor as some people are making out, because we had to deal with Sanderson and 09 being our centre-backs. And even though Sanderson's been absolutely excellent, he's been unbelievable, before this 12-game unbeaten run, Sanderson didn't get a look in until Bailey Wright got injured. So he come in off the sidelines, Sanderson, with no real match fitness or match sharpness, should I say. But he come in and he was brilliant, so hats off to him. Then, of course, Bailey Wright's come back, now that Sanderson's injured. And I'm not going to sit here and pinpoint and say it was Bailey Wright's fault, because we're losing games before Sanderson was even injured when we stopped that 12-game unbeaten run. But I think what we have seen over the last 7 games is I feel like we've lost that sort of tenacity and that want, that will, the desire from the lads, and maybe a bit of togetherness as well. In the final third, there's no creativity at all. It's very hopeful. Tactically, everything seems to be very hopeful. Get it out wide, put it in the box, and see if White can get on the end of it. And if we don't get on the end of it, we don't win games. And that is as simple as that. And at the back, we just don't seem to be as tight. We're nowhere near as structured or disciplined. It's a lot more laid back. We're getting caught out at the back. The midfield is getting completely bypassed because Lee Johnson is using the same 2 holding midfielders, not specifically personnel-wise, but he's using that holding midfielder role where he's sticking 2 in the middle, where it doesn't work, yet he's still hell-bent on sticking with 2 in the middle, and we're getting overrun time and time and time again. It has just simply been an absolute shit show. So we've gone from, I'm not going to lie, I was so hyped, I was so happy, and it sounds fickle from me just saying, yeah, we went 12 games unbeaten run, therefore I was happy. But it wasn't just that, it was just the belief. And even if we weren't playing well and we were scraping results in that 12-game unbeaten run, I was proud of the side, because even if we weren't playing well, and there were people who were still complaining when we were winning, saying that we weren't playing well, and I could acknowledge that, but I was so happy to see a team that were fighting for each other as a unit and scraping results, where that just seems to have gone like that. And I don't know where this has come from. And if we just lost 1 or 2 games, that would be fine. But to not pick up, more than 3 points in 7 games from the position we were in, I do think that is bottling it somewhat. And that fight from the players just doesn't seem to be there. It really doesn't seem to be there at all. It's as if they've lost a couple of games, so they just think, oh, come on, but we'll roll into the playoffs now. And we don't even have that guaranteed now. We're looking over our shoulders. If we keep losing and dropping points at this huge pace that we are right now, we're going to slip out the playoffs, and it's going to be a guaranteed other season in League One. And personally, if we head into the playoffs, if we do manage to squeeze into the playoffs, if we continue with this momentum, we're going to be the side in the playoffs with the worst form, and I can't see us getting past the semis. And that's me being completely honest. So that's been my sort of thought process behind it. A bit of a ramble. Probably nothing really to take from this video apart from me rambling from it. But I'm not going to lie, I've just gone from being, like I say, so hyped and so buzzing about the side and the squad we've got, even though I knew that the technical ability wasn't quite there. It was just a side that were fighting for each other, particularly since the Papa John Trophy final, where of course in the long term it doesn't really mean too much, but of course we broke that Wembley hoodoo, and we didn't even play particularly well in that game. I think Tranmere were hard done by, and we come away with a 1-0 win. But that's what it was. It was just a fight and a desire from the lads, and it just vanished over the last 7 games. It seems to absolutely have vanished. And I've gone from that, sort of excitedness as a fan to just, I don't really care anymore, which I should never say, and I've never said in my life. And when I say I don't care, I just mean, I'm not getting worked up. I think last time I got worked up was the Wigan game, and that's when I just realised where we were going. And since then, even though I should be screaming and shouting after defeats, I just can't be bothered. I'm just so drained of it all. I've been a Sunderland fan all my life. I'm nearly 30 now, and I've been through worse phases as a Sunderland fan than this in terms of runs without a win. There's been plenty of times, yes, it might have been back in the Premier League and what have you, but there's been many times where I've seen us not win for 10, 20 games. It's happened. It's actually happened. So it's not a case of me being fickle and that now I'm just, I can't be bothered, I don't care. It isn't that at all. It's just, I feel like I've just been disappointed over and over and over again, where it's getting to the point where now, I have my work rota where generally I'm buzzing if I see that I'm not working when a Sunderland plays, and I can watch the game and then do a review. Now I'm actually hoping it's the other way around. That's where it's getting to, and it should never be like that. I'm actually happy when I know I can't physically watch a Sunderland game, which is terrible, but that is just what is happening to me. I'm not over exaggerating. I'm just not lying to you. I just feel generally deflated about the club in general. I just need to see at least one performance before the end of the season that's going to put a bit of sport back in me, and the fans themselves, because I think that there's a lot of fans I've seen on social media that feel exactly the same way as me. We need to see at least one performance where we think, right, okay, we've got a chance here. The lads are up for it. Maybe it was just a bit of a dip, but this has been a dip to the absolute extreme that has really taken it out of me personally, and I'm sure it has taken it out of a lot of fans as well. So I'll leave it at that, guys. It was just a little bit of a ramble. I'm not too sure where I was going with this, but you guys let me know, have we bottled it? I think that's the question. Or are we fortunate to be in the position we're in the first place? Did we overachieve to get to sort of third place in the first place when we were there? That is a case that has been put back against me quite a lot. So it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. But if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sassy Army. But for now, you take care and stay junk.